39 years ago, in this vicinity, that's the Ogida vicinity, there was no secondary school. We had children finishing school and then going all the way to GRA to attend secondary school. And so we thought it wise to open a school that will prepare children for the university. That's why the name says University Preparatory Secondary School.
My UTME score is 342.
And my score in the just concluded UTME 2025 was 331.
And my score in the just concluded UTME is 230.
TestDriller has come to save us. When we discovered something called TestDriller, learning and maintaining a standard has become very, very easy for us.
O God of all creation, grant this our request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. So with this and
I'm Dr. Mrs. Juliet Urebu, the proprietress and principal of University Preparatory Secondary School.
My name is Hope Akachwe Ikechukwu. I am one of the biology tutors in the biology department.
My name is Prince Ekwarime. I am the ICT and coding teacher. And I also work with the ICT team as part of the ICT personnel in this great institution.
I am Mrs. Prosper Joseph Prince, and I am an English tutor here at UPSS.
My name is Mr. Osazua Omarabe. I'm a teaching staff here, and I teach Christian Religious Studies here in UPSS, of course.
39 years ago, in this vicinity, that's the Ogida vicinity, there was no secondary school. We had children finishing school and then going all the way to GRA to attend secondary school. And so we thought it wise to open a school that will prepare children for the university. That's why the name says University Preparatory Secondary School. We started with the primary school, like I said, 39 years ago. And since then, we've been training children to become self-sufficient, not only academically, but socially and in any diverse way you can think about. We have been able to meet the demands of this community. We have met the demands of the people in Benin City, and right now we are actually meeting the demands of people outside our community or Edo State. In fact, everybody around wants to be associated with our name, University Preparatory Secondary School.
For me, UPSS is the best school yet. Of course, as far as Edo State and Nigeria is concerned, it's one amongst the best schools there is. And the reason is because of their dedication and commitment to developing a total child, which of course has to do with the cognitive, affective, and the psychomotive aspect of his child's learning.
Here in UPSS, one of the things that sets us apart is our zero tolerance from examination malpractice. If you check the examination hall, there are CCTV cameras all over. So for example, myself as a biology tutor, I cannot be in the examination hall when my paper is being written. That's to ensure that the students are allowed to do their work. Of course, the students they are aware that nobody is going to help them. So the rigorous teaching process prepares the students to be able to attend to their questions on their own.
Another thing I love about UPSS is the way they harness technology in almost every activity. You go to our classrooms, we have smart boards. Teachers come in with their slides, prepare, give these children the visual aids that they need to really enjoy a particular class, videos, pictures, with a well-prepared lesson plan, which they've used to create those slides. Then we always use IT, do IT activities like using devices to connect, do our internal assessments and examinations, that's tests and examinations. Now this makes the students to be well inclined when it comes to technology. If you see our students handling computers or doing any other ICT related activities, you'll be amazed. So that's one thing I love, another thing I love about UPSS. And another thing I also love is the track record they've always had over the years. UPSS has produced a lot of professionals in various fields, doctors, engineers, within this country and even outside the country. So they are doing very, very well.
Well, UPSS is a place where grooming takes place, not just for the students now, but for the teachers as well. When you come into UPSS, you do not leave as you have come in. There are trainings that are being done from time to time, which would boost even your educational certificates.
The name UPSS, University Preparatory Secondary School. We're training children for the future. We're preparing the children for the future. And in UPSS, there's something about us. We're not just going through academics alone. We're training the children to be socially engaged, and so they are confident. I used that word before and I'm using it again. Our children are confident. They are able to face their mates wherever they are, and they stand out because they have been taught to be different. So for parents who are looking for the best, I don't think they should go further. This is the place to be. UPSS is the place to be. We combine academics with social work. Our children stand out. We don't want to bring up children who are ashamed or who are finding coming out in the society difficult. Our children are able to balance the life that they find themselves in.
All squad, hit the beats. Let me hear you stomp your feet.
When you get to a computer laboratory, it's fully loaded. Fully loaded. There are a lot of computers there, not just anyhow computers, highly sophisticated computers, right? With smart CPUs. A lot of them. So many. Over 200 computers there at the computer lab. We have the smart board there at the computer lab, also a projector, and we have CCTV cameras everywhere. Not just the computer lab, we have CCTV cameras in all our classes, and it's well air conditioned. It's really, really conducive for learning. Standby Wi-Fi connection, so the computers they are all connected to the internet. I don't think there is any other computer laboratory that is like UPSS in this state. Maybe somewhere else, maybe some other country, but yeah, I don't think there's any other computer laboratory that beats the one we have in UPSS. A state-of-the-art facility. We have a lot of labs here, ranging from fashion designing lab. If you go to our fashion designer, you see a lot of sewing machines, like highly classified machines, industrial sewing machines, and some other sewing accessories. You go to the fine arts lab, you see a lot of equipment there also. Or is it the cosmetology lab you want to go to? Well equipped. Is it the science laboratory? You need to see the science laboratory. It's massive. Like what you have there is just, it's so much. Or is it the studio? We have a studio where we record, our students record videos and some other content. You need to see the well-equipped studios. In fact, you just need to see for yourself.
My name is Acheberumiwa Amaka, and my UTME score is 342.
Hi, my name is Chukuma Ogidi Chidera Sarah, and my score in the just concluded UTME 2025 was 331.
My name is Ojigbo Prosper Chigozie, and my score in the just concluded UTME is 330.
My name is Raji Timisope Esther, and my score for the just concluded 2025 UTME is 327.
My name is Ogbama Wisdom Esosa, and I scored 321 in just concluded UTME.
My name is Iyawe Olusan Mitchell, and the score that I got in the just concluded UTME was 320. University Preparatory Secondary School has influenced my academics in many ways. For starters, they have the experienced teachers which drill us in topics that we don't understand. There are topics in biology, physics, chemistry that I tried to learn on my own, and I only got far when I had met these teachers to explain well for me. And then they also have the various activities like continuous mocks. We had mocks to do nearly every day and every week of the school term, and that really helped me know that, oh, these are the format of the questions that we will be seeing in the official UTME exams, especially with the facilities in the computer lab. That really helps us know how to use the keyboard, use the computers, how the app would be like, and that really helps us, because on that day I even heard that my fellow UTME takers, which are called Jamb Utme, they didn't even know how to use the keyboard, they didn't know how to type, they were still confused as to what caps lock was, and that was kind of shocking to me coming from a school with all these facilities. So I could say that they really helped in a lot of ways.
Well, I came in contact with the TestDriller app personally before my school had introduced it to me. My mom, her friends had somehow recommended it for me. The TestDriller app, when I first got it, I didn't actually understand or realize how important it would be towards my UTME 2025 score. But as I spent time with it, and now as I look back on my results, I realized it played a very big role in my score. The TestDriller have not just provided me with notes that were way shorter and more self-explanatory than whatever I got in classes and on videos. They also gave me tests and quizzes that helped me to see where I was and predict my actual JAMB score. One of my favorite parts of the app would be the games app, the educational games section and dictionary. These two features of the app actually helped me or left more of a mark in me than any of the other features. The educational games app helped me to learn various facts about different subjects in quick, easy quizzes that made it fun, interesting, and competitive. I remember when I first played the Millionaire game and I didn't even get up to 5,000 naira. I was so angry. I played that game for over 3 days straight just to get the 5,000 naira. In that sequence, I learned a lot. It taught me a lot. I remember my very first question in my biology exam was the first question I ever answered on the TestDriller app in that game section. Then let's go to the UTME challenge. The UTME challenge was very impactful and helpful. It was me and my computer alone, no external help, no school, no environment I knew. It helped me realize how alone and how secluded the exam was going to be, and helped me realize where I was, not with help, not any anxiety, but myself, where I was at that moment. It also helped me see where my mates were, because I could see the leaderboard and gave me this sense of competition. So the TestDriller app played an important role in my UTME 2025 score. Without it, I know I would have done well, but I don't think I'd have done that well.
Yes, I feel you can use the TestDriller app to predict your JAMB score. In my case, one of the highest scores I had during the practice mocks and the challenges was about 340 something. I'm not quite sure, so I can't give you an actual score, but I feel like if you assess yourself and from the mocks that you take, you know a range of the score you can get, because it's practically almost the same thing that you see on the main day.
90% of my reading was done with the TestDriller app. I made use of the study mode and the notebooks in the TestDriller app, which are very detailed and help students a lot. I also made use of the quiz feature, where you get to answer questions on the topics you have learned. and see the answers and solutions to the problems given.
The main feature of the TestDriller app that I really used and enjoyed was the study mode. This was because I don't have to use the whole 2 hours and then have to go again question by question to see the corrections. Immediately I click an answer and I want to check, did I get it right? I can see it right there and then. It didn't take much time. And I really enjoyed it because right in my household we have a lot of chores that I had to do, so I had to be very good in my time management to know that, oh, I shouldn't procrastinate much, so what I can do right now, I have to do it right now and not put off seeing the corrections for much later. So I really enjoyed the study mode feature.
TestDriller has come to save us. They have done a lot. TestDriller was like a godsend. We can tailor question banks by topic. We can teach, give the children different type of exam types. In fact, you just have to hear our students in the school. Everything is TestDriller. You know, they just want to, because it exposes them to so much. The question banks that TestDriller has been able to create makes learning a lot easier for the children. And for our teachers too, we're able to see problem areas where we can make corrections and analyze real-time performance. Because most of the time when we do things, you know, before the teacher will mark it and bring the scores, it's not very easy. But with TestDriller, we're able to do real-time performance. It helps us to check what the kids have been doing, and it also allows the teachers to quickly intervene in case of places where the children are not able to meet up. In fact, with TestDriller, we have independent learning. You know, as a school, we can say, want to teach for 8 hours or 6 hours, but the children have the opportunity to go outside the school environment to continue learning. So TestDriller has been a very important achievement, let me put it like that. When we discovered something called TestDriller, learning and maintaining a standard has become very, very easy for us.
My name is Daniel Alien, and I'm the CEO of IF South Limited, the maker of the TestDriller app. What's our mission in TestDriller? Our mission is to create tools and resources that empower students to learn effectively and also pass excellently in their exams. And I want to take the word learn effectively. I want you to take that word, because the goal of what we do in TestDriller is to make students learn effectively. And I'm going to show you how we've taken concepts in science and how we've taken those principles in developing our application. And these techniques have shown to be effective as we've produced some of the best students in Jamb over the past 3 years. What's an effective learning? To talk about an effective learning, you need to first understand the various modes of learning. We've got passive modes of learning, and we've also got active modes of learning. Passive modes of learning includes the following. Number one, being in a lecture hall, listening to a lecture. So that's passive mode of learning, and that has 5% retention rate. What that means is, if you just merely listen to a lecture, you probably remember about 5% of whatever you've learned over a short period of time. Then we've got another passive mode of learning, which involves reading textbooks or reading any textbook or text-based materials, which is about 10% retention level. Then we've got the third passive mode, which is you listening or watching audiovisual materials, like let's say watching a video lecture, which has about 30% retention rate. All of these are passive modes of learning. They are important. They are the first phase to learning generally, but the retention level are generally between 5 to let's say 30 to 20%, depending on individuals. Okay, so we have the other modes of learning, which we call the active modes of learning. As regards the various active modes of learning, we've got the following. We've got number one, the seeing or the participation in a demonstration exercise. So let's say you walk into a lab and you actually witness an experiment where someone is explaining buoyancy using actual experiment. You get to increase your retention rate to about 30%, because when you watch a demonstration of a concept, your retention rate is much more higher than
mere passively reading about those concepts. Then we've got another active mode known as discussion. So discussion is a very important idea in learning. When you discuss whatever you've learned with someone else, maybe with your friends, with family members, you get to increase your retention level to about 50%, right? So the next is the practicing. So practicing is very key. In fact, practicing has about 75% retention. So what this means is if you get involved in a practice exercise where you answer quizzes, you answer questions given to you on any concept you've just learned, your retention rate goes up to as high as 75%, and that has been proven by science. Then we've got the last active mode of learning known as teaching others, where you actively teach people, and that has a very high retention rate of about 90%. So let me now explain how TestDriller incorporates this concept in developing all the features we deliver to our students. One, we provided in our classroom feature, we've got notes for all subjects, and these notes, they are both text-based and audio-visual, right? So the audio-visual is a feature we are about to release, so which is very critical because that has a higher retention rate than the text-based materials. So we've got all that covered in TestDriller, and these materials are organized in a well-structured way, enabling students to digest them in a very, very easy manner. So now let's talk about the active modes of learning in TestDriller. So let's pick the demonstration. So in this coming version of TestDriller, we are releasing an app known as Physics Lab. So the goal of Physics Lab is to enable students learning physics to fully understand certain concepts by watching a simulated experiment. So by watching a simulated experiment, you get to understand the concept better than just merely reading about it. So let's pick an example. So let's say you are learning something about electricity, and let's say you are studying something around Wheatstone Bridge. Imagine being able to see a practical demonstration of Wheatstone Bridge and all the circuit around it. That helps you retain that knowledge way better than merely watching a video or merely reading about it. So that's an active mode of learning that we've incorporated in TestDriller. Then let's talk about the next, which is discussion. We've shown that discussion is also an active mode of learning that could boost retention to about 50%. So how did we solve that in TestDriller? We added what we call the AI tutor. Now, since the student may not be in a physical forum where they talk to their friends, so what we've done is within TestDriller, these students can actually interact with an AI tutor and discuss the concept they've learned. Now, the good thing about discussing concept is a student will be able to fine-tune some of the knowledge they've gathered so far and also clarify some of their doubts too. So by chatting with an AI system, they get to express their thoughts, express their knowledge, and get real-time feedback from the AI tutor. And this has been shown to be very effective in learning. Then we've got practicing. TestDriller has tens of thousands of past questions from which a candidate or a student can practice rigorously. In fact, we've got questions covering both past questions and model questions. Why do we have model questions? There are some subjects that past questions are not relevant. For example, if you are studying a subject like literature, literature has questions that are out of date because every 4 years or thereabout, they get to change the books that those students get to read. So what we've done is we've added questions that we call model questions that cover all of these new topics that may not exist in past questions. So the TestDriller team, we've taken care of almost every aspect of practicing. So the questions are in abundance, the practice interface is superbly easy to use, and the practice experience is also very, very smooth. And all of these things is to make sure that the retention level of our students get to as high as 75%. Then we also have the educational game. So aside all the regular features, we have what we call educational game. The goal of that educational game is to make learning pleasurable, right? So we don't just want them to just keep learning stuff in a boring way. We want them to learn in a fun way. And that's what the educational game is all about. That triggers pleasure. And if they learn while having pleasure, that's a beautiful thing. And that's an intrinsic motivation. Now, what about the extrinsic motivation? There are some learners that may need extra push to learn. And one of the ways we achieve that is by introducing what we call the UTME challenge or the SSE challenge, depending on the app that the student is currently using. Okay, now let me talk about the UTME challenge. For UTME challenge, the way it's structured is as follows. Every week, let's say from mid-January, let's say till mid-April, we do have what we call a challenge, the weekly competition where students get to compete for a prize. Now, the way it's structured is every week, at the end of each round, we award students with airtime. That airtime is a form of extrinsic motivation. Even if as a student, you don't feel like studying, but the fact that every weekend we're going to get some reward for being among the top 20, that is a very interesting way to motivate them to study and to learn whatever they need to learn to get that award. Then at the end of the UTME challenge, we also award them with 100,000 Naira scholarship award for the top 5 in that UTME challenge. And we also award the top 3 best Jambites using our app as well. So by doing this, we are providing external motivation, enabling them to see reasons why they need to learn. And in most cases, when you provide sufficient external motivation, it turns into intrinsic motivation, because over time they begin to have pleasure or they begin to see reasons why they need to study without any external motivation. So the external motivation can be a push for them to eventually develop some sort of internal motivation. And that's intentional because in psychology, it's a form of motivation. And this motivation is very, very powerful. In fact, it is the motivation you see in gamers. When you see somebody playing games all the time, you ask, why are they doing this? They are doing this because they want to get the best new score. They want to get the best new score. And that is the motivation behind why they keep going back. And we've adopted this kind of psychological gimmicks into our app to motivate students to keep coming back and keep beating their old score.
For me, what makes my school different and more unique from other schools is the confidence level of our students. I don't know how our school does it, but whoever goes through University Preparatory Secondary School cannot leave a shy person. They teach you how to be confident, build on your self-esteem, and how to speak. They emphasize on these characteristics a lot because, as our big auntie will always say, a person, whenever you go out into the world, whenever you are morally sound, whenever you have academic excellence, which of course you will achieve, you will always find yourself in a situation where you have to speak to crowds. So I'll say it's our confidence level. No matter the competition, no matter whoever we stand against, no matter how big the foe, we always enter confident, and that's why we take the victory at all times.
UPSS is a place you actually find different sets of people, and they are always they want to meet their goal. They have that mindset that is either victory or nothing. So basically, you rolling with that kind of people, or those people being around you, actually helps you, motivates you, and make you know that, oh my God, I'm not supposed to be lacking behind. I need to flow with them and actually work in according to their system. So it gives the labs, multipurpose lab, and the experienced teachers and everything's actually worth it.
UPSS is a school that can really balance academics and extracurriculars. UPSS not only drills you academically, they also show you that you can also have fun. As they say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So they really provided standard teachers for us who finish the curriculum for you, and the extracurricular activities, they push you to do it almost, even when you're a really reserved person and on your own, you have to participate. That's it, and it's always fun to do it in the end.
I was always kind of reserved, but coming into UPSS, it helped me become more social, because you tend to realize that you can't survive based on intelligence and academics alone. You have to have friends that will push you, friends that will encourage you, friends that will correct you when you are wrong, and not just stand by and let you waste away all the effort that your parents put into raising you. As well as it helped me know that I am actually privileged to enjoy teachers, because there are schools out there, they don't even have up to par the quality of teachers that we have. In terms of biology, physics, chemistry, English, the teachers we have here are the best of the best, in my opinion.
I would recommend every parent to take their children out of a school that is not UPSS and bring them to UPSS because of the good educational background of the teachers and the facilities here which will help the child in learning, and the hands-on activities where children don't just learn stuff, they learn how to practicalize it in their everyday life.